Hello and welcome to this video. Today will be a tutorial on the elevator I have in my base. There was a comment on one of my recent videos. I requested it. I do have a video that details all the redstone from my various elevator designs, but nothing like a build tutorial, so that's what this will be. And I'm hoping I can explain things in a way that makes it applicable to all of my other designs. So yeah, let's get started. I'll start on the Ascension Module, as I call it. First thing, past the entrance, or just above the entrance, you're wanting 2 stair blocks. We'll waterlog those later. Also, if there's anything I forget to mention in this, be sure to check the description or a comment I leave for more detailed notes. So yeah. And then right inside the entrance, you want a note block for single floor use. Let me put some blocks there for now. We're going to leave the block above this empty as well, and we're just going to fill in the other floors real quick. Might as well just bring this up. I'll probably fill these in and then cut to when I'm done so we can move on to the next step. Okay, so I've skipped ahead a little bit. I've already flooded the chamber and I put the soul sand in place for all the floors. I also added a bit of redstone. We're going to get into that just now. So outside of this note block, I'm going to want an observer with some solid blocks ready, like so. We're going to want a repeater with a tick delay like so. A couple more solid blocks, and then this right here needs to be a slab. And we're going to put some redstone like so. A couple observers, or comparators, redstone torch, and just outside of that, sticky piston. This is our pulse extender, and now when you're inside and you click the note block, that will retract the piston, and after some time it'll raise or extend again, and the soul sand will be back in place. And as it stands, the elevator is now functional for single floor use. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty now, I suppose. So we want our sticky piston here and trapdoor here. Behind these block spaces are the 2 buttons. And we're gonna arrange the floors first. So if you know how many floors you want, you'll just follow this, I suppose. Where is it? Here. So if you've got 4 floors, you'll want the first floor to have a piston and trapdoor, the second floor to have a piston and trapdoor, but the third floor without. And we're going to follow that for the others. So we have 3 rows of buttons. So it's here, yeah. And then like that. So first floor, second floor, third floor has nothing. And we continue it up. We can get back into the other details. So from these pistons, we want some observers facing up into some solid blocks in this order. And on the other side of this solid block, we want trapdoors. And we want observers coming out of those, and some observers coming out of those trapdoors. And another set of observers like that. So the signal reaches into this solid block here. We're also going to want solid blocks on top of these observers here. And now we want a target block, dropper, an observer, another repeater with a tick delay, and a solid block. So now, signals from the wall here, the buttons you'll be pressing, will also trigger the pulse extender. Now it's just a matter of carrying the signal up to the various floors. So, from these observers, we want solid blocks, and some trapdoors coming out of those, and some more observers like so. Depending on the space between your floors, the redstone is going to be slightly different. That is what we're getting into now. Let me move that, and I need the doors. So, use doors for, I think it's 7 blocks between each floor for this specifically. Also out of these observers, we want solid blocks. And then out of these doors, we want some more observers into more solid blocks. And from these blocks on the inner line, I think it's the note block. Note block, and then we add the observer. And that is the basic arrangement of redstone between each floor. And we just copy and paste that all the way up and cut the signal where we need to. So for the, we'll say it's first floor to third floor. From this observer, we want solid blocks again, like so. And then we want trapdoors like so. Observers coming out of those. Observers coming out of those. More observers. And the redstone again. Oops. Put that there. There. That. That. Solid block. And let's more solid blocks there with these doors. Okay. Now, for this line, if it was first floor to third floor, we are not going to continue any more redstone through from here. We've already got our signal carrying for the inner line to the second floor, so the first and second floor will be active, and then this outer line will continue. So we want observers, solid blocks, and we'll get to that in a second. We're going to carry the signal from this floor as well. We want our solid blocks, trapdoors, observers, and no blocks. And then, nope, that's wrong, hang on. Solid blocks, and then no blocks, and then the observers again. And that'll be the signal, or the solid blocks there again. And from this, we have our trapdoors, like so. And this signal is also carrying, so we can put that there, I suppose. We want our observers again, solid blocks, and this can be solid as well. We'll want the redstone there. Now from this outer line, we can cut the signal, so it doesn't need to continue up anymore. I want this, that, with the tick delay, of course. And now, if we activate, say we're pressing the button on the inner line, we'll see that the first two activate and the third does not. But if we were to press the button for the outer line, it would trigger all 3. So now we have a set of buttons that'll get us to the 3rd floor and the 4th floor, as well as an inner button that will get us to the 2nd floor. Like so. just need to go back up here and continue the signal as we were, cutting where we need it. So more observers, solid blocks, trap doors, observers, solid blocks, note block, observer, and from here we want the doors. Oops. But this one, we're not carrying the signal up any further. Observers, solid block, and from here we want the solid blocks like that again. More trapdoors, observers, and solid blocks again. And then more observers here. I think it'll be this one we cut as well. Yes, we do. The inner line will be cut, the outer line will continue. We want those there, and we'll get this set up again. Tick delay, solid block. We want those, and this closer to the entrance to the elevator will continue. Another observer, solid block, block, and observer again. Out of these observers, we got solid blocks, and we want to continue that. This there, that there, observers, solid blocks, and redstone. And now the outer line can cut here. And now we're on to the last. I want to include that. Solid block. And outer line for this one is getting cut. And why does this look different? That doesn't go there. Or does it? No, it doesn't. It goes that way. There we go. And we want a solid block there. Trapdoor. Observer. Observer. Solid. Observer again. Solid. Trapdoor. And now we can cut this inner line and continue the outer line. And that should be everything. Now we have 8 floors that are completely accessible from any other floor. So let's go to the first floor, or, well, my main floor. And we're on the main floor. I forgot to mention one little detail. If the space between, say, the bottom floor and the top floor is too much, the pulse extenders we have here won't be enough to keep the floors open all the way. So, to fix that, we're going to want to extend it. And we'll do that like so. We'll just add another block and a slab, and the redstone dust will go that way. We add on 2 more comparators. Now for the repeaters, we want a max tick delay on both of them. So now, pulse extender will last much longer. If the space between floors is even greater than that, you'll want to look into some other pulse extenders, you can probably fit them in just as well, as long as it's not interfering with any of the other redstone. Okay, now let's try for the Dissension Unit, as I call it. Just a second. So for the bottom floor, we're going to want just a stair block, and we're going to waterlog it. I don't know if I mentioned it already, but for this, if you want to use this entrance, you want to make sure that whatever block is underneath this trapdoor is not capable of transmitting redstone signal. I'll get into that in a minute. So let me construct this real quick. Well, I guess we can start with this. Want the iron trapdoor here, like so, and I think that way as well. And when we get a button, doesn't matter what button. Okay, so the trapdoor opens up towards us. That's important for when we waterlog it, to make sure the water is closed off. Yeah, let me just build this up real quick. So skipping ahead again, we have all the floors set up. For the top floor, we will not need a trapdoor out the back, but the redstone I will show here is the same for every other floor. Just want 2 blocks, and out of this bottom block we want a repeater with 1 tick delay, and on top of them is the redstone. Now, all of the floors are capable of a single drop, and you want to make sure to waterlog all of the trapdoors at the back and the buttons real quick. So with the redstone there, you can use it as a 1 floor at a time. And now we'll get into the multiple floor redstone. So first we'll map out the floors we're going to use. It's essentially going to be the same redstone as the Ascension Unit, just flipped upside down. So for floor 1 and 2, we want the sticky piston and trapdoor. Was it trapdoor? Hang on. Yes, trapdoors. The sticky piston on top, trapdoor on the bottom. So the first and second floor will have those. Third floor we do not. So then we want the observer facing down and solid blocks coming out like that. And then we can actually install the pulse extender here. Is that it? No. Right there. And what is the block there? So redstone dust, and the pulse extender goes right there. And we want the redstone here. And then in here. I want to bring this down, and that right there. Repeater with a tick delay, redstone dust like so. Don't need those. And we can add a observer like so. And another observer facing up like so. And a couple blocks there. Also want to back to this. We want some trapdoors on the bottom block. Nope, wait, hang on. Top block. Observers out the bottom. Solid blocks there. More trapdoors. And inside we'll want the redstone dust, like so. And then from the trapdoors behind the buttons, we'll want the observers again. Hard to get that in the right place. Oops. So reading through the trapdoor, reading out this observer into the solid block, and that should trigger this redstone dust here. When that piston extends, it'll send a signal through, triggering this trapdoor, carrying the signal down again into this solid block, triggering the redstone, and we'll continue the signal down further. And then from these observers, we'll want the solid blocks again, the trapdoors, the observers, and note blocks, and nope, solid blocks, note blocks, and observers, like so. And then we repeat the process, and I think from here we'll continue this signal. Also from these, we'll want from these observers, we want solid blocks again, and we're gonna put the next line of observers 2 blocks down, and we're going to include the doors in this space. This is the part of the redstone that will vary depending on how many blocks you have in between floors. And that will carry the signal down. And we'll want this pulse extender again. Make sure that's a slab. Redstone. And the observers, like so. Like so. Solid blocks, redstone, and we can put solid blocks here. Trapdoors again, and we'll continue the signal through from these. Nope, not those. Well, yes, those. We want solid blocks here first. And link it from there. Like so, and again, there. Now we can put observers there. And going back through there. And now we'll cut the signal on this line here. Right? Yes. That, we've got the redstone. And then we want trapdoors, observers, solid blocks, note blocks, observers again. And from there we want observers, solid blocks. Oops. Doors. And we'll put the next pulse extender in. I do apologize if this is maybe a little hard to follow, or if I'm not very good at explaining this. It's not much of a revelation to me, but I do understand I am not very good at multitasking or explaining things while I build. So then we cut the signal there. The outer line is carrying the solid blocks here. And underneath that, the observers, like so. Another one facing up. Blocks, redstone dust. And that will be from the first to the third floors. I forget how to explain that. Right, we'll carry the signal. Solid blocks, trapdoors, observers, solid blocks, note blocks, observers. And these will be more trapdoors, observers, solid blocks. The third signal, oh yes, third signal, or the outer line cuts at the third floor. We'll continue outer line out this way. Solid block, pulse extender. And we'll continue that signal for the inner line, one more floor. And the outer line will also continue. No, maybe I was supposed to cut it. Yes, I was. So the inner line gets cut. The outer line continues. And that stays the same. I want the observer there. We need another pulse extender. And then we're going to cut the outer line at this floor. And the inner line will cut right here. Just checking, make sure I didn't forget anything. That's actually important for this, since there's only one line of redstone, we want to make sure this is a dot and not a cross. Otherwise, the signal will carry from, say, this observer into the outer line, and that's not what we want, because we're still continuing the outer line like so. So the inner line is cut, outer line still continues. Still, did I add the, yes I did, okay. And the final, right here, again, this will need to be a dot and not a cross. Oh wait, need the observer there first. There we go. And pulse extender again. Solid block. Repeater. Comparators. Redstone dust. And right here, redstone dust again. And that should be everything. The best way to test these is to check, let's see, so it would be this button would open up 3 trapdoors. Nope, wait. I'm sorry, I'm very tired. Something is wrong. Okay, so I made a bit of a mistake. Instead of solid blocks where this redstone sits, these need to be slabs. Otherwise the redstone will trigger the outer line trapdoors. So, again, with the best way to test this, this bottom button should trigger 3 trapdoors, or rather 2 trapdoors, and the top button will trigger 3 trapdoors, as it does. And of course, this single button trigger 1 trapdoor. And then we can test it again. This should be 4 trapdoors. 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be 5 trapdoors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that 5? I don't think that was 5. Hang on. That's what it was. I forgot the comparators on that floor. So we go back up. This should be 5 trapdoors. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that was 5. Okay. I think that about does it. I'm really sorry if this was a bit messy. I'm not good at talking and building at the same time. My brain just doesn't work that way. Hopefully most of this was helpful. If you've got questions, I will do my absolute best to answer them. But I think that covers the elevator here. Yeah.